I love this platform as well because there's no delay. So I'm not 30 seconds in the future when you're listening to me. So our chat will hopefully be able to be a little bit more engaging, and I can actually answer questions live and see your comments on the topic. So that's really awesome. I'm really excited about this new platform. There are a couple new features. There's the chat box, which obviously I've mentioned already, which is great. There's also just below me, somewhere down here, there's a questions section where you can go ahead and ask a question and people can vote for or upvote certain questions. There's also a poll section where I can add different questions to ask you and you guys can vote. And then there's an offers tab. So if there's anything I'm talking about specifically with an offer or a link that I need to give you, that's where that will be. So just there's like a button down here somewhere along that area. And for those of you watching the replay, I don't think you get to see any of that, but I don't know because this is my first time using this platform. So I'm on Webinar Ninja. And I purchased this platform because I was just tired of the back and forth and the delay of Google Hangouts and not being able to chat with you guys really. The chat box was a huge factor in me purchasing this new software. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. And I hope that as we pick up some momentum with this new platform, we'll get more and more viewers because I know it'll be quiet today as people try and like figure out the platform. And I'm sure we'll get people showing up a little bit late. But as we start to get used to this platform, I'm so excited to be able to engage with you guys on a more personal level and chat and hear your questions and hear your comments in real time. So let's dive into a couple of things. I have a couple of announcements first and foremost. I'm so excited, and this came a lot sooner than I thought it was going to be, but I've finally given youryogabrand.com its own website. So it is launched. It's www.youryogabrand.com, and it's got its own fancy home. It's got all of its resources. All of these live chats are listed there. Any of the replays that you've missed are all linked up on that page. Any of the upcoming live chats you can register for right on that webpage. And I should mention too that while I'm going into this new platform and as I start to gear up for some other exciting projects, which stay tuned, as I start to gear up for that kind of stuff, we're going to do these live chats every other week because I want to make sure I'm really focused on providing good value for you and good content. And that we're working through, as we get guests coming onto the live chats, that we're working through the questions we want to ask them. And it's really staying organized and consistent. So I feel like we're finally in some flow and some sort of consistency with these live chats. And I'm really pumped about that. So every other week, we'll have some content in a live chat for you, which you'll have to sign up for and grab your spot for, just so that you start to get email notifications about when I'm going live. And it's just easier to manage. It's easier for taking it off of Facebook. And it's easier for you to get reminders, and you get the replay delivered right to your inbox. I also wanted to announce, which I'll talk a little bit more in depth at the end of the live chat, that I have launched payment plans for the workshop, because I know when you're thinking about investing in your business, it can be a little bit scarier than investing in education, for example, around your yoga teacher training or things like that. So I've created payment plans to lessen a bit of the burden, and I've launched those on the Your Yoga Brand website. It's all on the workshop page. So the payment plans are now available, so you can break out the payments into 3 months worth. And I'll talk again a little bit about that. And then in the offer section below, you should see a link that you can learn more about that. So let's dive in. I am not sure. I'm going to just say hello, friends, in the chat box. Okay, it shows up with my name. If you arrive and you get here, I'm going to put, please let me know if you can hear me and see me okay, your name and where you're watching from. Okay, so hopefully the chat function is actually working and that people can hear and see me. I'm going to dive into the content. So today we're talking all about how to find time in your schedule, how to find the time in your schedule to really build up a yoga business. Danielle says, it's working. Yay! I'm so happy about that. This is a big relief, my friends. This is a big relief. It's been a big step in the right direction. So yeah, we're going to tackle how to start streamlining things and finding time to really build your yoga business and start working in your business on your business rather than in your business. So when I say you're working in your business, I mean you're standing up in front of people and teaching them That's working in your business. How do you find the time to work on your business? So I want to go over a few tips and tricks and different methods and strategies that I've used to manage my time, divided up between my design company, my yoga teacher community, which is you guys, and also teaching yoga, because I do teach yoga as well. So, whether or not you're busy with another full-time job and managing your yoga teaching practice, or perhaps you have another part-time job and this is another part-time job, or maybe you're managing a family and trying to run a family, or you have small children, or you're trying to really divide your attention and you find it hard to kind of manage the business side of things, social media, marketing, that kind of thing. So whether that's you and you need some processes in place to start to streamline things and make it easier for yourself and find that extra time in your schedule. So how do you run and grow a business on the side? How does this side hustle turn into something that's a little bit less of a hustle and a little bit more fun and leaves room for growth, really? So first, I want to talk about prioritizing the tasks at hand. And you need to really start to create realistic goals for yourself and a plan of action. And you need to, that's the bottom kind of line here, is that you need to be realistic in your goals and start to pick out what is going to be most important in your business for that moment and what is not. How do you prioritize? Okay, so let's think about this for a second and break it down. Prioritizing is if you have, a specific amount of money that you need to make in a day or in a week or a month. Prioritizing the tasks that are going to generate revenue for you, that's important. Then you want to prioritize things that are going to help you grow your business or streamline it. So you need to prioritize things like if marketing or social media is a really big part of your marketing plan and your marketing strategy, and you spend a lot of time on social media and that's important for your audience and engaging with your audience, that might be a priority for growing and streamlining your business as well. So we really need to stop and pause for a second and prioritize what are our goals here? What are our realistic goals? And how can we now break it down into an actionable to-do list and do that? Really write it out and break it down into a plan of action. The one thing that I've started to implement in my business management is a 90-day calendar. And a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of different systems out there that you'll hear about use this system. And it's basically taking a look at your 90 days, your next 90 days, your next 3 months worth of time, what you want to accomplish in that, what projects you want to either start and or finish, and what you want to prioritize. So for me, in my businesses, or, for yoga teachers who are looking at creating a 90-day plan, take a look at the next 3 months of 30 days, and look at what you're planning to do. Are you going to host and execute a workshop? Do you have a retreat coming up? Do you want to plan a workshop to hold and kind of run through in the next 90 days? How many private clients do you need for the next 90 days? How many classes in studio do you have to teach for the next 90 days? So get a calendar of the next 3 months and actually break out. I usually start with like a list first. So aside from the calendar's over here, my to-do list is here. And I write out those realistic goals and what I want to accomplish in the next 90 days. And then from there, I'll break out actionable plans. So I'll break those goals out into a to-do list of little chunks. Again, being really reasonable with yourself. Am I going to really sit down and write 5 blog posts in one day? Probably not. So that's not realistic for me. But if I write 5 blog posts and I break that out into 5 different days or 1 a week for 5 weeks, whatever you decide to break that out as, start to develop a to-do list that's reasonable amounts of time, and then put that into your 90-day calendar. So you've got your calendar, start to break out the weeks with manageable goals, what you want to get done. Maybe it's 1 task a week that you want to get done. That's maybe as much time as you have to dedicate to your projects in that time. And start to break that out in the actual weeks. So maybe that week for the first 90-day calendar, I put in that I want to write a blog post. Then the following week, I need to plan out my workshop sequence. Then the next week, I need to start marketing my workshop. Then the next week, I need to manage my social media page or update my website. So just start to break it out into the 90-day calendar. It works really well. And 90 days is a good amount of time to look forward to. And it's not like the next year, what I want to get done in the next year. It's like a manageable amount of time, and it gives you 90 days to work up to your goals. So that's kind of number one. This is not a wine bottle. This is water. So prioritizing and creating the realistic goals. If everybody can still hear me and you want to chime in now, because we have the great chat function, and you want to let me know how you prioritize or what's important to you, then, or you want to share your 90-day plan. Maybe you've got one project on the forefront that you want to share with us. I would love to hear it. I would love to call that out. Next, I want to get into talking a little bit with you about streamlining your business and streamlining your processes. So as yoga teachers, and we've talked about this before, and I will keep talking about it because it's something that's really important to me, we need to start to shift our mindset from just a yoga teacher, a really great yoga teacher. I'm not taking anything away from that at all, but shifting from yoga teacher to a yoga entrepreneur or a yoga business owner. And that with that shift comes more, or I should say actually less, fear around investing in your business and investing on your business. So it's about, we spend thousands of dollars to get trained to be a teacher, and that's awesome. And it feels really good because at the end of it, we get a certificate that lets us confidently stand in front of people and teach them yoga. But what is driving your business? What is getting you in front of those people? What's driving your marketing? And what's making sure that you have the ability to live a sustainable life in your business by teaching this practice? So we need to start to shift our mindset a little bit to being able to invest in our business. And there's lots of ways we can do that. It doesn't have to be money only that we're investing. Investing can cover anything from money, time, or energy. And some of the ways that I've implemented this in my businesses and how I've started to shift my mindset and lessen that fear of investing in making things easier for my business and making things able to grow is that I've implemented a scheduling system for myself where I use Acuity. So you can use Acuity, or you can use another one. I think it's called Calendly. If any of you guys use this already that are listening, please chime in and let me know, because I would love to hear if there's any other options or if you use something else. Any kind of scheduling system where if you work with clients, particularly like one-on-one clients, if you're doing in the private yoga teaching business, or if you get a lot of people or inquiries to have a call with you, or can we chat about this, or can we chat about that? It's really nice to have a scheduling system in place so that you can just send them a link and they schedule time in the availability section that you've selected already. And then it goes into your Google Calendar or your iMac calendar or whatever. It's so simple. And it costs me $10 a month for Acuity. And I use that to schedule all of my client calls, all of my brand consultations, all of my coaching packages, any free chats that I have with, if I'm collaborating with other yoga teachers and we need to chat and have a brainstorm session, all of that just gets kind of scheduled by a link. And it's super easy, and you can implement it on your website and put in a little book now button, and it links right to your calendar. Sorry, guys, I'm taking water because my throat is really tired of talking today because I just did a podcast with the lovely Suzanne from Yoga Crush. We did this podcast interview and I'm pumped about it, but it was lots of talking. So give me excuse my water breaks. Anyways, so scheduling is really important. The other one that I wanted to talk about is social media, creating your content in a batch way for social media. So very recently, this is a very recent development for me, I've invested in some social media schedulers, which means that every Monday for about 1 hour, I spend time scheduling all of my social media for that week. Now, there's a balance here, and I schedule the bulk of my social media, but I also stay engaged and relevant throughout the week so that I'm staying still authentic and engaging with people and responding to comments that way. But in the Facebook group that a lot of you are in, the daily prompts for the conversation starters, those are scheduled so that I can just come in then throughout the day and start to respond to people and engage in conversation with you guys and connect with you. But that initial prompt is kind of it just goes automatically. So I don't need to make sure I'm there at a certain time. I don't need to worry if I'm kind of out and about or on a client call and it doesn't get posted right at the right time. It's all scheduled for me. And then I use Buffer. Buffer is free for up to 2 accounts, I think. So I'm still in the free account, which is awesome. And then I also bought recently Grum, which is an Instagram scheduler. So I've purchased that system to help me with streamlining some of my Instagram process. And then you can also get things like, there's another one called CoSchedule or Hootsuite, or Meet Edgar is the big kind of the beast of social media schedulers. But social media scheduling has been a real game changer in my business. And it's really helped both bring time back into my schedule, but also it's really helped that mental burden of, should be posting. What do I post? I have all this content now built up in a folder, and I can just choose what I want to share if it's relevant to my audience and when it's relevant. So it's really easy. And it's been a really good investment for my money and my time. I get a lot of time and energy back because of that. And then next is processes. So everything that we kind of do in our business is run through a process. And as yoga teachers, that process can be anything from how you set up your teaching in studios. So from getting the job to how you sequence a class to how you follow up with students, that's a process. Scheduling and executing a workshop. So how you come up with the ideas, how you plan the actual workshop, how you market it, how you get people there, how you take payments, how you wrap it up. That's a process. Same with setting up a retreat, or how you onboard new private clients. So if you have like a welcome package, a homework package, an assessment package, there's all of these processes that we really should start to streamline and make super easy for ourselves in our business. And that really helps give time back. And again, lessen that mental burden. You have a very clear idea of what's blah, blah, like point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're good. So starting to come up with a process, even if it just means writing it out. I use a tool called Asana, which is kind of ironic because it means, it's a yoga term, but it's not a yoga tool. But it's called Asana, and it's free again. So it's awesome. And I list out all of my projects. I list out all of the processes that I go through, what I need to check as I start and finish a project. And it makes it just really easy. Everything's in one spot. I can brain dump all of my stuff for my projects in there, and it just helps kind of get things from here, not onto paper, but onto the screen. So that's processes. The other thing I wanted to talk about for streamlining is bulk email templates. So I don't know, as you start to pick up a little bit more momentum and you get more emails are a big kind of time suck for some people. And if you're getting a lot of the same questions, what are your packages? When is your availability? How does it work if I want to do private sessions with you? What about your upcoming retreat? Can you tell me more about it? If you're getting all of the same kind of questions over and over again, it's a really awesome idea to create templates for your emails. So I use canned responses. I use Gmail. You can use canned responses, I think it's called. There's a bunch of other tools you can get that that allow you to create kind of batch responses for people. And that works really well when you get these common questions. So you just drop that pre-made template into your email, you customize it with their name, and then you're good to go. So the way that I use bulk emails, it really helps cut back on the time of re-entering all of the information all the time. The other way to combat this is if you have a website up and you get enough kind of inquiries or traffic there, having an FAQ page has really helped me streamline things in my design business, because when people have common questions, I can do the bulk email, but I can also say, if you have anything else, then head on over to the FAQ section. It should all be listed there. And that helps with user experience design as well on your website. It makes things really clear, makes it really easy for people to find the answers that they need to get. And then lastly, the last system and process I want to talk about streamlining is your invoicing and accounting systems. So I use Wave Apps. Again, it's free. You can see here that I'm giving you lots of free options. So we're not actually investing too much money in this business shifting of our mindset, but it is still so helpful. So I use Wave Apps. I invoice all of my clients there. You can invoice studios if you get paid that way. I do all of my accounting in Wave Apps. I upload my receipts with my phone. I have an app on my phone. I take a picture of the receipt. I upload it. It tracks it as an expense. It's phenomenal, and I don't know how it's free, but it's free. And for invoicing, what's really great is that you send the invoice off to your client, and then you set up the reminders. So it reminds people on the day of, 3 days after it's due, 3 days before it's due. You can pick when they'll get reminded about the payment. You just send it and you forget about it, and then they pay it, and it's awesome. So you also have the option of accepting credit cards, which is great. really great customer service. People really like to pay with credit card. If I know there's a fee involved, and if you're not at the point in your business where that fee is too much to take on, you can easily turn off credit cards, and it's easy to just accept EMT, and email money transfer, or cash, or check. So Wave Apps is amazing. It's been also a big game changer in streamlining how I invoice and collect deposits and collect my money in my business and manage it. So that's been really, really helpful as well. So these are a bunch of different processes to start to streamline the little tasks that we all have to do in owning a business that don't have to be a huge time suck for you. So again, scheduling, batch creating your social media content, creating good systems and processes for all of the things you have to do in your business, being really kind of organized that way, bulk email templates for your common questions, an FAQ page on your website, and invoicing and keeping track of your finances through Wave Apps. So let's say that you are a super busy yoga teacher. You have another full-time job. When I started teaching yoga, I was in a full-time 9-to-5 job. I have my part-time design business, and I was teaching yoga part-time. So that's a lot. So if you have something like that in your life going on right now, if you've got little kids or babies to take care of or a family to run, then say you only have 10 to 15 minutes in your day to dedicate to your yoga business aside from teaching. So again, we're talking about investing and working on your business, not in your business. If you only have 10 to 15 minutes a day, what should you be focused on? What should you be doing? What should you be prioritizing? My biggest advice for that is to start building and fostering a community around your brand. And that doesn't mean starting a Facebook group. It doesn't have to look what my scenario looks like with the Facebook group that I have you guys in. It's really about reaching out to people who are either like-minded or other wellness professionals that you can pick their brain or start building relationships is what I'm trying to say. Build relationships and build a tribe, find your people and find your audience, and start building a community around your brand and your business, your yoga business. Because when you start to make those connections, when you start to reach out and build authentic relationships with your audience and connect with them and engage with them and have conversations with them instead of talking at them, then you're going to start to build up people who want to have you around. They want you in their inbox for emails. They want to show up to your yoga classes time and time again. They want to come to your next workshop. They want to know when you're going to be hosting another workshop because they're that excited about your brand. So start reaching out and building relationships and building a community and a tribe around your yoga business. And that's the most important thing that I would say to prioritize if you only have 10 to 15 minutes a day. Start networking authentically. Remember how we talked about, I have a live chat, I think, on this. We might need to retouch on it, but just starting to build and nurture relationships around your business is going to be really valuable. This is a case in point that the community that I built up on the Facebook group has been so fantastically supportive. And also reaching out to other wellness professionals and connecting with people in person has been incredibly helpful for my yoga business because I've been able to, a lot of what I do when I teach yoga is I put on workshops and I do workplace yoga. I've gotten lots of teaching gigs based on just reaching out to people and building relationships with other yoga teachers and other wellness professionals too, not just with students. I was able to do the yoga and acupuncturist series of a workshop. I'm doing an upcoming massage RMT and yin workshop with another massage therapist. So by reaching out to other people and reaching out to other wellness professionals and yoga teachers, that's been a huge game changer for my yoga business as well. So that's the priority if I can give you any advice for if you just have like 10 to 15 minutes a day. And if you can just do one thing a day, I say it all the time, I'll say it again, one thing a day to do work on your business, not in your business, then you're in really good shape, I promise. So a couple of things to remember before we wrap up these little tidbits and tricks. I always try and keep these live chats to like half an hour so that they're digestible. We're not having to sit for like an hour and listen and watch, but they're easy to kind of take in as you're maybe doing something in the background, or it's just half an hour to sit and watch and listen. So to wrap up, a few things that I want you to remember. Self-care is best for productivity. So when we're constantly working on or in our businesses and there is no balance and there's no self-care or there's no break or there's no ability to kind of disconnect and disengage, it's not going to be good for productivity. And I can get caught up in this cycle very easily. My partner he'll tell you the same thing. I can get caught up in the momentum of keeping a business running and keeping a business going. But if you don't take the time out to actually take breaks and listen to your body and disconnect from your business too, then we're not going to be nearly as productive and efficient as if we can just pace ourselves and break out, like I said at the beginning, break out realistic goals and an action plan for 90 days at a time. And if you are if you're like, I actually need to schedule in self-care, like in my calendar, which one day I will show you, I schedule my blocks. I schedule my time in chunks, and I have self-care time scheduled in. And sometimes that means that my self-care is to go get on my mat and do a yoga practice. Sometimes it means I go down to the gym and I'll do a workout. Sometimes it means that I go for a walk with my partner. And sometimes it means that I lay on the couch and I watch some Netflix TV or movie. And I really need to, it's been a practice for me to kind of tune in and feel what my body needs. And it's important to keep those disengagement and disconnected times throughout your schedule, because running a business with another job or with a family or trying to tend to friends and other things in life can be really overwhelming. And sometimes if you're anything like me, you can get caught up in it and it can become, you'll drive yourself to burnout. And then you're just definitely not productive. Like I can get into those cycles where I'm just work for a couple of weeks if I have a launch or something coming up, and then I'll burn out. And then for the next 2 weeks, I'm not productive. I'm just kind of getting by. And so that's not a sustainable way to run the business. So self-care is very, very important for your streamlining of your business as well. It's really important for your business process too. And the next thing is when you can't possibly balance the time or energy to put into running a business or an aspect of your business anymore, that might be when it's time to consider hiring something out or delegating tasks. So like I said at the beginning, investing in your business doesn't always mean money. It can mean time or energy. So any of those three things. And so if we're not investing money, we're usually investing time and energy because we're learning a new skill set and trying to take on learning that and processing it for our own business. If you don't have the time and energy realistically to invest, then it might be time to consider starting to hire out or ask for help or find some way to delegate that or find some way around it. Because that's when it's a good indicator of, you know what, I can't manage this. I can't take it on. I either need to decide that it's not going to be a part of my business management anymore, and it's not something I'm going to put any energy or time into or money, or I need to pay for someone to just do it. So there's kind of that shift that happens as well. And it can be very scary to invest that way. And I totally understand that. I totally understand the hesitation of investing in your business because it's not as tangible of an outcome as, like, say, a yoga teacher training where you get a certificate and you get certified to teach something where you know you can make money back. It can be scary to invest in your business, but sometimes it's necessary for growth, and sometimes it's necessary for expansion and for sanity. So you be the judge there. And then lastly is that shifting of the mindset, which I've pulled in throughout a lot of this, is just recognize where you are, recognize where you're at as a yoga teacher and as a yoga business owner, and assess where you need to be focused and prioritizing things and where you need to be investing in your business: time, energy, money. One of them or all three, or two of them. So that's what I wanted to cover today. I know it was kind of a quick run through, and we could spend 2 hours talking about how to make time for your yoga business, but I wanted to give you enough information that you had some takeaways and some actionable steps for your kind of taking the next steps to streamlining things and how to create some more time in your schedule. And as always, you know where to find me. I'm always in the Facebook group. I'm always there for you to tag. I love having conversations. I like answering and chatting with you. So by all means, if you have questions about this, or you have questions about tools that I use or tools that you should be using in your business, please tag me in the Facebook group, Build Your Brand, a yoga teachers community, for any questions that come up or kind of fizzle within you for this. And definitely please check out the www.youryogabrand.com. I'm putting it in the comments. And that's the new website that I'm just so blown away that it happened this quickly. But it had to happen. It was necessary because the resources and everything that was building up within this yoga teacher community it needed its own home. So it's there now and it's live, and there's lots of resources on there for you to start checking out and working through. Sorry. And then I think down here somewhere, there's like an offer tab with like a learn more button, because as I mentioned at the beginning, launch payment plans for the building your brand workshop for yoga teachers. So we've got a handful of students in there from the Facebook group already. And now you have the ability to break that up into more manageable chunks. So you've got the option of 3 payments during 3 months. So it just breaks up the cost a little bit. It helps manage that burden up front and gives you some of that time to work through it and then get to the other 2 payments, or the last few payments of the payment plan. And so that launched this week when the website launched. So you now have the option to break that out, which I think is really a good option to, like I said, just lessen the burden up front. And it's available for both packages, so the workshop package or the coaching package. And so check that out with the button somewhere in this area. Says learn more, and it'll take you to the workshop landing page. And the last thing is just keep showing up in the Facebook group. Please use that as a resource for yourself. It's there for you. I've built it for you. I show up for you. And it's just so that you can ask questions and get support around things. So if you're feeling totally overwhelmed in your business, ask us how you can start to streamline things. Or if you need help with social media, ask a question and tag me if you want me to specifically kind of respond and answer. Because that's what it's there for. And there's so many really great supportive people. It's growing every day. And it just warms my heart to see the community building in there and to see the support. So use it. It's there for you. Use it. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this new platform. I hope everybody could hear me okay and see me okay. You should be getting a replay in your inbox, which is so handy and fun. I'm really excited about this platform because we had so many struggles with tech difficulties at the beginning. So if it works and you get the replay right to your inbox, I'll just be ecstatic. So Danielle says, thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you so much for showing up today. Thank you so much for being here and listening. And I hope that you got some value and some tips and tricks of how to start really thinking about your business and how to manage that, streamline it, and grow it. So enjoy the rest of your day or morning or night, depending on where you are. And the next live chat is going to be happening not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after at 11 a.m. Eastern. You can go to youryogabrand.com/live chats. And I'm going to put in here, and it's going to be all about building an effective website. So I know a lot of you guys are either building, in the process of building, or trying to streamline and customize and get a good website up. It's going to be all about building an effective website for your yoga teaching business. So go over to that website and sign up for the live chat. I think August 2nd is the date. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you guys in the Facebook group, and I will see you for the next live chat in 2 weeks. All right.